Hello, hello,
What's up?
gang. Yeah, welcome.
Happy Happy Hump Day Wednesday.
Yes, it's 6:50. 6:50 right now on the
Is
3rd.
it?
Yeah,
Oh
on
man,
the
we early. We
3rd
too
of
early.
March.
We too early, Charles.
Yeah.
Oh man, my back is killing me. Sorry, I'm gonna be moving around a little bit because my back is. I gotta go see a chiropractor, a masseuse.
Yeah. Anyway, good evening, gang. Welcome. I'm Uncle Charlie, and this is Mel. Uncle Mel.
Peace. What's up?
And
Welcome back,
welcome.
guys. Where were
Yeah.
you guys last night, man? Where were you all last night?
Hey, don't make fun of them. Some of them was going through withdrawals. This is, hey, we don't know how to act. No, you guys are doing good. You guys are doing good. Yeah.
Got my Kawhi Strong shirt from Kirk Korea. Oh,
Yes.
because I feel like Kawhi got to get strong. Kawhi is we've been doing a great job, so just felt it appropriate. What's up, Calvin? Man, my good
Yes.
friend Calvin Tamagawa is on tonight
Yes.
from Fish Express. I went over there yesterday, had some lunch. Awesome. Support local, guys. Don't forget, support local. We're trying to get Calvin to come on our show on Fridays, but I think he's a little camera shy. He's half Portuguese and camera shy. Come on, bro. Let's do it. Let's do this.
Nah, sooner or later, you'll get them. Sooner or later.
All right. Well, nice to see all of you guys back tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget, share a little bit. Whoop.
Yes.
Share, share, share.
Yes. Share. Share, share,
Oh,
share.
man.
Share, share, share.
Golly.
Share,
Golly.
share, 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 share.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm out.
Well, that's like kryptonite. Yep. He probably went and gone and got himself some. He's going to get himself some candy or some baked goods. He's going to make me jealous with his baked goods. But anyway, folks, welcome. Good evening. There's a lot of things that transpired within the last 2 days. And so hopefully we can uh, unwind. I told you he was going to get his candy. He was going to get his stash.
You
Yep.
know,
And you got the big ones there. That's a big
yeah,
ones,
this
bro.
was uh, this was again provided as a gift for us, and it's in the freezer, which is off limits for me. It's
Oh, that's from
frozen solid, so you know I cannot eat this tonight.
no, no, no. After 5 minutes, you watch the thing will just I don't know. It defrosts fast. I think.
Really?
Is it the one from Tommy? The one from Tommy
Tell me who?
Silver.
Oh no, no, that one's gone. Patsy took that to work. This is from Tommy Raposo, my dad,
Oh, right on.
because he was again taking care of his son. He didn't feel it was appropriate that you had all the candy and I didn't.
Well,
So
Tommy, you're good. You're you're a good man. And your son didn't have candy when I had candy. Too bad. But now he has. Now he has his fixes. So that's good. That's good.
all right, sorry I had to run out though. I couldn't take it no more. But I did hear you talking about a lot of developments that happened today.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
So
And tonight I
I
just
don't
wanted
I don't even
tonight
know
I
where to
wanted to
start.
show some. Well, let me I'm gonna ask to share the screen here, and let me try to get on this thing here, and I'm gonna bring something up right now. Okay, and I'm sorry.
So yeah, we'll
I'm
be
gonna
talking about. I know we got a lot of comments and messages and emails and texts about Kauai now sending in the request to opt back into safe travel. So we'll talk about that tonight. I know a lot of you are wondering where we stand, but there. Okay, there we go, Charles.
Okay, you see that on the screen there?
Yes, we do.
So as you folks are all made aware of, that right now Kauai asked to rejoin the Hawaii Safe Travels program, right? So basically that pretty much will address the only thing that we had that we did that was sort of a secondary uh, uh, preventative measure was the resort bubble, right? Anyone coming in, even for local travelers, they had to stay at a resort the bubble, and upon the third day, take a test, and if everything was negative, you come out of the bubble and you're free from quarantine. If not, you stay in for 10 days. Or if you're a resident, turning resident, and you don't have your results uploaded, or anybody for that matter, you automatically go into a 10-day quarantine. So we see this here, okay? But then what's unique about this, and again, there's going to be pros and cons to this whole thing. So I just wanted to show you, we've been bombarded with these kind of news. The mayor is asking the governor, and remember now, I think we only have about 24,000, 30,000 people so far that's been vaccinated, right, Mel? Here on Kauai.
That's what
Or,
I've heard. Well, that's I think doses. I'm not sure if that's
yeah.
people. So you got to account. Some had
Okay.
has one shot. Some has had two.
Okay. So, but the thing is, if our population base is 70,000, we're still we're still below the mark there of 70%. Okay. So 70% would be about 49,000 to 50, say 49,000 individuals. Okay. So then we get this, and what you're doing is you're seeing this. The White House warns against loosening COVID restrictions as state do just that. And they're mainly keying in on states like Massachusetts, New York, Iowa, and now more so the state of Texas, correct? So when you read something like this, it kind of confuses everyone because I get confused. I said, why are we kind of relaxing, and yet the White House is releasing these kind of press statement that something is definitely different about this whole thing. Now, what is still baffling is, and let me show you one more. Show you one more. Okay, this is from the CDC chief, the new CDC head that worries us about the states loosening COVID-19 restrictions because many are doing it. But what they're worrying about is the new variants that's on the hill, right? That's on the horizon. A lot of them have made landfall. So Dr. Rochelle Walensky, who is the new CDC chief, is that she's worried about many states relaxing the restrictions. Okay, so you understand that so far, and we read this in. I mean, you folks can Google it and you read up all about it, and this is coming from some pretty top experts there, but everybody has a differing opinion. So I'm gonna stop that for now. Okay, so what happens is, Mel, and I think this is where it gets confusing. We are doing something that this guy, and for all intents and purposes, Kauai has really defied the odds. Has really defied. Um, you remember at one time they said, "Be prepared, that big one is coming." We never really had a big one, but we had a worrisome curves, one of those, right? But for the most part, we stayed down. We stayed low. In fact, when you're at zero, you can't get any lower than that, and it becomes very, very. You get baffled that it's totally opposite of what the experts have been saying, and the experts are still saying that there are peaks and valleys. Okay, and then right around November, December, everything started to shoot straight up. Right now, it's on a downtrend, but it's plateauing at a level that still hasn't gotten below that initial surge that went up. So even though it shows that there are hardly cases reported or that many cases, the plateau is still above the initial where it shot up from. And that's what's concerning a lot of these experts. Now, how does it apply to Hawaii? I don't know. I don't know. But I can say with some certainty that if we started surveillance testing and or if we started to do regular testing, we would probably find out that we have more infections than we would like to have. I'm a firm believer of that. It's just that right now, and the numbers kind of don't jive because I think today we had eight, right? Oahu had eight, if I'm not mistaken, eight
Correct.
cases. Okay. Well, lo and behold, Hawaiian Airlines had eight cases. So is that eight from Hawaiian Airlines alone and nothing and nobody else? So that those eight attributed from
Well, it's from
alone
Monday,
by
right? The
yeah,
report today is from Monday. So
right.
we had the additional cluster count
19,
today as well.
19. Yeah,
So it's, again, it goes back to how we count. You
right.
get different agencies that are reporting their cases for the day, but it's not added in the state count until 2 days, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous. But that's just that's well, what you gonna do?
Yes,
You just gotta.
exactly.
That's just one of the things Charlie you talked about when Kauai had that little spike. The only time Kauai had a spike, a real spike, was right after October 15th when we opened the travel. That's when we got the spike, and then once we opted out,
Hmm.
and then the spike went away, and we were able to keep very low numbers. So that's the interesting thing. Now we've done such a good job. Kauai has done such a good job. I knew this day would come because there's how can you expect the mayor to continue to say we got to stay closed, we got to stay closed, we got to stay closed when the numbers are we're doing so well.
Yeah,
You got House Bill 1286 floating through the. Um, Somebody's asking to see the poster behind me.
yeah. Flatten the curve.
Um, we just gonna have to wait and see now. 1286 was going to go through. 1286 had some traction that would have forced them. Now I hope the legislature, Scott Psyche, will withdraw the bill and stop wasting any more of their time on that silly bill. They can go back to work, real work, like helping our small businesses,
Yes,
getting people vaccinated. I think that's key right now. So,
yes.
but
Well, you had posted something very interesting a couple days ago, and it caught a lot of traction, and that was COVID relief funding, federal COVID relief funding, which somehow the state was able to maneuver 70 million. Is that correct? 70 million to the rail project.
yeah, Brian Schatz was proud of it. I mean, he came out and did a press release on it, and I'm not sure. See, that's how you can tell that our leaders in high places have lost touch with their constituents.
Hmm.
When you think it's a good thing to divert 70 million from COVID relief money and
Right.
putting it to a project that is not even a state project, it's a county project, COVID relief, and this is what really pisses me off about Congress and the administration at the federal level, is these guys are playing politics with monies that should be all allocated to relief for COVID. All of it, not your pet projects. That's what really upsets me because they horse trade. They say, oh, the House cannot agree with the Senate, the Democrats cannot agree with the Republicans, blah blah blah, because they all have pet projects that you cannot put them all in. All that fat, all that pork, you cannot put them in. So they start trading. Hey, I'll support your this if you support my that, and all in the while, the only thing that the people getting is the $1,400 one-time paycheck or assistance, and that's not for everybody. They're tightening the restrictions now on who even gets that. Yeah, they got some unemployment extensions, but the majority of those funds are going to non-COVID relief,
Hmm.
and that is what's irritating me. That is why people, and I remember I saw someone post on one of on that post that I did. Someone said, "Oh gosh, I voted for the name that I recognize. I guess I made a wrong decision." That's what these guys rely on, name
Hmm.
recognition. But you guys got to look at what they do in their term. What have they done? What have they done? Because This next election is going to be critical, and we got to start looking at what these people have done. You know what, we hear it all, right? What's hurting our state right now is people aren't working because we rely on tourism, and we cannot really increase tourism because of the safety factor. Okay, so Congress, Schatz, Hirono, Kai, Case, why don't you take Hawaii out of the pie and look at us differently, because we need more funding for our small businesses. We need more funding for our individuals that are not working. We're not like all these other manufacturing towns that are still working. So that's what I'd like to see. Bring some real COVID aid to the people. The rail? Are you freaking kidding me? 70 million? Wow. So, I posted that to raise people's awareness that, and yet, I'm trying really hard to get a breakdown of the funding. And I want to separate, I want to do a chart, a graph that shows how much of that money was, and I've seen the reports, X amount, but no, I want to see the actual budget. It's going to take some time, but I want to see how much of that funds went for crap projects of Congress people and not to the people of the United States of America. That's what I want to see. And then follow who voted for that stupid monies to go to causes that had absolutely nothing to do with COVID relief. And that is the questions we got to ask of our representatives. That is the questions. They spent so long trying to get rid of the last president. They forgot their job. Now that guy is gone. Let's get to work and go find out what your constituents need and then deliver. Real? Are you freaking kidding me? No, man. And then to put it out there like you just did something hell of a good deed. Oh, come on. And I tell you right now, you'd be surprised at where other funds went throughout the country. The poor gets poorer, the rich get richer. That's the American way. And it's time for change, guys. It's time for change, and only we can do that at the ballot box. So
Now, it's sort of disheartening in a way that when you look at some, I'm not saying all, but when you look at our fish, not well, the entire houses in Washington, it's sort of like it's like an elitist club. It's only for the elite, and yet I try real hard. I look at even for states that I don't know nothing about, but I look at their elected officials' backgrounds. I mean, you kind of wondering, and some people just year after year after year after year, they vote for the same person, and I'm trying to wonder what is that magic grip they have over the people. I mean, I cannot buy no longer buy the red or blue anymore. I cannot buy that. At this time, I'm just, being a Democrat, I am just going to go for the person that I believe that fights the hardest, regardless of your party. I said, it's because once you get elected, you should be working for the people, not for the party. And I get a real hard time when you get one spokesperson for the party says, we shall go there. Wait a minute. Doesn't my voice count? Oh, I get it. You're gonna make like you're listening to me, but at the end of the day, when you're walking away, you're gonna make the comment, just make sure we lose that guy's number or something like that. They'll tell you that, right? Just lose his number, whatever.
yeah.
And it's just disturbing in some ways, but the thing that I did in response to your post, which made it funny, is that when the rail was first developed, right? You remember the hot button topic was, where was the funding coming from, right? Where was so excuse me, where was the funding where was the funding coming from? Okay, so that got all figured out. Then funding was getting low. Then had all this going. problems experienced, right? COVID wasn't even born yet. It wasn't even a pandemic. So I would like to know, how does COVID morph into funding this project? If it was never way back when these things first started, it was never around to begin with. Uh-oh.
It's called opportunity. It's called political opportunity to pay back your supporters, to pay back the special interest, because this doesn't happen. I mean, pandemics don't happen every term. This was an opportunity to, and I'm talking both sides of the aisle. I'm like you, Charlie. I vote for the person. I don't vote for the party. I consider myself a nonpartisan, not an independent, not a Green, not a Democrat, not a Republican,
I consider
nonpartisan.
I consider myself Chinese Hawaiian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think you are. But this is an opportunity. Can you imagine these guys sitting around a table saying, "Hey, what, bro? What you need? What you need? What you need for your Hawaiian club? What you need for your Portuguese chamber? What you need for your friends at the racetrack? What do you need for your friends in Hawaii that rail?" Remember something: the federal government audited and still auditing the rail project. I saw a question about that. How can they get federal money when they're still auditing the and they weren't going to get any more money until the audit? The audit is done by the department, which is the administrative branch. It's the executive branch. Congress controls the purse strings. They can put whatever they want. Now, the president has an opportunity to veto, but they're all in this together. You're not going to see any kind of vetoes. That's just how it works. And that's the problem when you have a one party system, whether Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter because you don't have that checks and balance.
Mm-hmm.
So while the Department of Transportation was fed up with the way Honolulu was messing around with that project, they said, we're not giving you no more money until we audit you. And then here comes Schatz, talks to his friends and said, guys, you know what, man? The real project gonna die. It's problems. We really I need to infuse some money. Can you guys support 70 million? So that completely bypasses the Department of Transportation. It completely bypasses the audit. They're just gonna funnel more rubbish money in a rubbish project. That's what's gonna happen. Throwing more bad money after the that's politics, and nothing changes if we don't change that. So
Right.
it's shameful, it's embarrassing. I think that's going to go down as the worst CIP project in the country in history. I really believe that when all is said and done. I honestly believe that. And Hawaii's, and that's why it's going hard time for Hawaii to get money going forward, because we cannot manage our money, we cannot manage our projects, and that's a shame. So that was the answer to that question about the audit. Congress, the legislature, the Senate and the House can put the money in there, and then it comes, unless the president vetoes, and he won't. Not now.
Okay. Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point. And then getting back to our topic of COVID, you remember I said nearly 40 years now, back in the 80s. You remember it was very strange to many of us locally, but we saw travelers from Japan, right? And many of them wore masks. This is back in nearly 40 years ago. And yet none of them would ever tell us, hey, put on our mask. They just did it because they know where they came from. They found that to be very, very protective for themselves. So they wore the mask. I say this because whatever is going to take place, even if they loosen the restrictions, and there's not a darn thing we can do except when it comes election time, then you make your voices heard. We need to just protect ourselves like how the Japanese were when they used to come to Hawaii nearly 40 years ago. And that is, I'll bet you folks anything. If you see me, you're going to see me with a mask on, because I got to say that it works for me. And it's going to keep me and my wife safe. And that's the route we're going to go. And I don't care if they lift a mask mandate or what. I don't care. If it protects me, I'm going to keep on using it until I no longer I'm alive on this earth. I'm just going to keep on using that mask. And I hope everybody does the same because I see that, when we talk about seeing someone without a mask and say, hey, put on your mask. I just don't want something crazy happening just because you told someone to put on the mask. The person took it the wrong way. They pull out a gun and decide to fire him because they had it. They just had it. I don't want that to happen. So folks, there's just a bit of caution. There are crazy people out there that swear when they wake up in the morning, the next person who tells me where's my mask, I'm gonna shoot him. Don't let that happen. Don't give anybody the opportunity. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. If you can stay safe, that's the best thing. You wear your mask. Okay, you wear your mask.
Just stay away from them.
Yep,
These clowns
exactly.
without masks, just stay away from them.
Yep,
I mean, if you do what you need to do, you're not gonna get sick. It's that simple, right? That's how this thing works. If you do what you're supposed to do, you won't get sick. If you see your friend and he doesn't have a mask, hey, just keep your distance.
yep.
Keep your distance. Hang on here. I'm just looking at this one question. We'll get to that, Calvin. Um, yeah, just you know what? If they don't want to wear masks, that's fine. Because, like Charlie said, you can piss them off, altercation, somebody get hurt, blah blah. Just stay away from them. Stay away from them, and worry about yourself and your families, and that's it. Keep you and your bubble safe. You're not gonna get sick. You're just not gonna get sick. And if everybody does the same, then nobody gets sick.
Yep.
But again, and that is why I think the CDC is so concerned, and the White House is so concerned about these places that are lifting the mandates, like
Yes.
than these other states. Like, what is that guy smoking? What is that guy smoking? Like, just take
Very
off
good.
the mask mandate at a time where your variants are going across the country. So, but they're saying lessening any restrictions right now is not a good idea. Hang tight. Let's get through the variant stage so we can keep our people safe. And that's what he's not doing. There's a lot of talk about vaccines. I did want to get to this question right now, Charlie, because Calvin and I don't like lose, I don't like forget. What are our thoughts on the vaccinations that need to be done for the hotel and food service employees? Most state and county employees are already vaccinated. Getting tired of this of the way state and county is handling the matter. Just can't believe banks are one. C. It is really getting old. Please explain this to me. I'm not too smart. Please explain this to me as a simple man. First of all, Calvin, you are smart. You graduate Catholic school with me, High school with me. We both smart. But anyway, bottom line is this, Calvin. I think, and this was admitted by the state as well on one of the interviews that was done, and I can't remember who said it. The whole vaccinations, whenever you get humans running programs and processes, you can see those things happening. Why aren't our people in the banks? Why aren't our food service workers, people that are in constant contact with strangers every day, why aren't they elevated? Why are people that are working in offices that are, or in some cases, teleworking, government teleworkers that are getting their vaccines before food service workers, agriculture workers that work in farms that may never come in contact with another human being except their home. Why are they getting before people that are working in front of strangers every day because they have to? Hotel, restaurants, all of the service industries. So I agree with you, Calvin, totally, 100%. I think anyone that should have been, that come in contact, anyone that is in a vulnerable category, even if you're 60, even if you're 65, and you have underlying conditions that make you a very high risk. There's many things. Many people got vaccines that weren't vulnerable, weren't at risk, but because they know somebody that knew somebody got, that was admitted by the Department of Health. That was clearly admitted as was happening. They're trying to crack down on that, but that's how it works. And it's sad because as we talk about, as we push to, and this ties right back into the original point we were talking about, Charlie, about the safe travels for Kauai. The mayor wanted to make it very clear that all of our hotel workers, hospitality, not just hotel, restaurants, hospitality workers, were vaccinated before the visitors were allowed to come in without any type of uh, quarantine. And they are
You know
working on that
what
aggressive.
this is the problem. Okay. I personally think they should have just opened it up, and I'll tell you the reason why. If the state of Hawaii is a tour destination, a travel destination, we are all going to come in contact with somebody, period. It doesn't matter whether you're in the hotel industry or not. You're going to come in contact with somebody. Okay? It's not like we're up in the US where we can drive across state lines. We're unique in a sense. We're a travel destination. People love to come to Hawaii because of that. And we just may run across people just because we're in the same area. Now, does it mean that I'm any different because I don't work in the hotel industry, therefore I gotta wait at the back of in the back of the bus? No. If we're deemed a travel destination, then you vaccinate everybody. And this is the problem that they said they're worried about. At the rate they're going, because they're putting at these different tiers, they are worried at the end of the day, they're going to have all this vaccine left and not enough arms to put it into. That's what they're worried about. And I said, whose fault is that? You folks decided? I said, no. They said, well, it's the federal government, the CDC. Wait a minute. On Kauai, we're running things a little different because we're ahead of the trend that Honolulu has, right? We're definitely ahead of the trend because yes, we have a small population base. So that reasoning doesn't, it holds true only to a certain extent. You can make change, you can make some allowances because you're not going to stop the train from moving if you're waiting for the rest of the state. Like right now, Hawaii, we're already at 1C, but it seems like we're waiting for the rest of the state to catch up to the 1C level. No, no holdback, nothing. You at 1C, you fire away, you fire all cylinders. Because if Kauai is able to get everybody vaccinated, wouldn't that be just that much more, less of a pressure to the rest of the state? Now you don't need to worry about Kauai. Now move on to the next county that can get people vaccinated. That's
That,
the fee.
no, you right on target, right on target. I tell you what, that whole defense, I call it a defense because that's what it is. They get so defensive and they talk about, oh, Kauai is easier because they got a smaller population. Listen, the vaccines are passed out in proportion to the population. So while we're smaller, we get a smaller amount of vaccine. What the hell is
Exactly.
the difference, really? Honolulu, they get Pier 1 or Pier 2 or whatever, all these different mega sites that they claim was going to get everybody vaccinated. They're struggling because there's so many other things when you that transportation, getting people there, getting people convinced to take the vaccine. There's so many different variables. But when they, I hate that. Oh, well, Kauai's numbers are great because they get smaller numbers. No, we do things differently. That's why we get different results because we do things differently. And we do things that the other counties are not willing to do. That is why the results are not the same. So this whole crap about, oh, Kauai, they're doing well because they got a smaller population. I don't buy that. I don't buy that because you know what? The population of employees, county and state employees on Oahu outnumber Kauai's county and state employees tenfold. So don't tell me that it's about population because they get way more resources than we do.
Mhm.
So I don't buy that for a second, and I hate that. Pisses me off when people in Honolulu say that. Oh well, you know,
Okay,
they they
okay,
they 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 have a small population. It's much easier, really.
my brother, throttle down, throttle down.
Oh, I just that just gets to me because it's an excuse
No,
rather
it,
than
it
call
is.
Kauai and say, hey brother, Derek, well, how are you guys getting the highest rate of vaccinations? Well, maybe because we got a better registration system. We got a better education system to get people informed and educated about the vaccine that they're not so damn scared to take them. Yeah, it's not because of population.
Let, let,
Sorry.
let, let me tell you what some have done, and I'll speak for HHSC because I asked them how they're doing it. You know, we talk about this VAMS, right? The vaccination something scheduling. They do it online, right? And it also allows for data to be recorded, who gets vaccinated and so forth, right? Here's the unique thing about it. HHSC, which is Mahilona and KVMH, they actually take reservations for the vaccination over the phone because it takes a lot to enter information into VABs. Okay. Once the person is vaccinated, that night they have a full staff entering information of all the people that get vaccinated that day. That's how they do it.
Mhm.
So they don't let no technical glitch get in the way. All they do is they receive the vaccine, and the distribution point, I understand for Kauai, is Wilcox. They get their numbers based on how many people already registered. They give them the vaccine that day. At the end of the day, when the vaccination site is closed down, those employees, their work is not done yet. They go into a back office with a lot of computer terminals and they start entering the information of the whole thing. What time the person came in, what the person's age, if they had any type of reaction, all the address, when their next shot is due, because basically both Mahilon and KVMH were the Pfizer, so it's a two-step process. Now, I think what might make things a little easier is the fact that with J&J and they get the one step only shot, right? That might make things a whole lot easier. But again, I reemphasize, open it up to everybody, okay? It's those vaccination hubs. You just have to keep track of who coming through your doors. That's it. Just keep track of who coming through your doors. But just, you know, no get somebody causes, oh, I sorry. We right now we taking 70 and over. And the guy go, bro, I'm gonna be 70 in 2 weeks. I sorry, you gotta be 70 to register. Right now you're only 69. We cannot take you in. Come on. Bend a little, because what you're doing is you're getting the person out of the way. That's one less person you gotta worry about vaccinated. Now here's another thing that's happening. And boy, I love this new format that we have there now. It's like Perry and Price. It's like the Perry and Price show. We have another problem through a source. Some of the vaccination sites on Oahu, the big ones that you talked about, comes to find out that uh, possibly, and I can't confirm this, but I was just told that some of the individuals giving the vaccination may be a temp service. They have their license, they're registered nurses, but it's a temp service that's giving the vaccination. But the odd thing is, those who are giving the vaccination, they themselves are not vaccinated. Why is that? I think they should be vaccinated just to err on the side of caution.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. But
it's
we need to get more people vaccinated, no doubt. And I know there's somewhat of a limit on vaccines, but um, it's how the distribution. And somebody asked about what do they do with extra vaccines if people don't show up. We had HHSC on our show, and it's very clear they only can pick up from the Wilcox what they have registrations for. But
exactly.
in some cases, people will change their mind, or they cannot make it. They cannot get a ride, so they have a backup list. And when they realize that they're going to have some extra vaccines, they got on that contact list, and they start calling others to come in early that have maybe made reservations for another day. And as of the date, and I believe even as of today, that there has been no vaccines that have been wasted, zero. If they cannot get anybody, they'll find somebody at the hospital, staff worker, a nurse that didn't have the vaccine, and they'll get them in her arm. So yeah, no vaccines are being wasted. Not here on Kauai anyway. I cannot speak for any place else, but that's what we got from HHSC. But yeah, I think the whole structure of how the vaccines are being put out, it's kind of frustrating. And I hear some of your comments, or I see some of your comments about how can you have a furloughed employee get a vaccine before an employee that's working right now? That's a good question.
No,
Um,
that's the reason why, Mel. You know, to eliminate confusion like that, whether you furloughed or not, as long as you're a resident of Hawaii, whether you're working or not, unemployed or not, just go get the vaccine. Then
well,
you
the,
eliminate you
the problem is
eliminate
we just don't have the supply right now. That's the problem. I mean, if we had,
no, but the thing is, right now they're categorizing everybody, right?
yeah,
I just say if you put them in a chute and you take the first 2,000, you can have mixtures of maybe somebody who's 45, somebody who's 75, somebody who's, but the thing is, if you keep a steady stream, you'll get to everybody. But right now, it's this sort of this blanketed way of saying, because this comment came from Libby Char, Dr. Elizabeth Char from the State Health Department. She says that when we get to 1C, because one of the question is, why were some categories pushed to 1C? She goes, well, 1C is the biggest. It's over the population base. It's over 500,000, right? So if you look at the kupunas on the front end, yeah, we can put the kupunas on the front end, but we could have dovetail and chip away at that 500,000 in the back end and push them to the front too. Then it wouldn't be that much on the back end. So if you're looking at 3 to 4 cycles, giving an example, and you got 100, instead of maybe the first cycle get 10, 10, 10, and then 70, why not just make on 25, 25, 25, 25, or as much as you can. Then maybe the last cycle, you leave it for whatever stragglers that never get the chance. Maybe you're going to have social workers going out into the field, getting some of those homeless encampments. They don't have access to getting online and making a reservation for the vaccine. Maybe they can go out there and grab them and bring them in. Save them for the last end. Maybe you do that because we pretty much got most of the population base out of the way. I mean,
yeah.
that's thinking outside of the box, I guess.
I tell you what else is thinking outside of the box, and I had hoped would have gotten some traction. We talked about getting those mobile vaccination buses driving around and going into the communities where kupuna cannot get to Lihui or the hospital. And I understand Office of Elderly Affairs do their best, but you understand, a lot of people no more internet. A lot of people no more smartphones. A lot of people, some no more phones, and they're not getting the message.
Hmm.
And I think you get that van out in a community, I remember we talked about the ice cream truck. Yeah, play the music, and come get your vaccine. We'd reach a whole lot more people. But again, who are we, Charlie? Who are we?
Well, I got this comment here, and they make a good point that vaccines are being prioritized because they're made to protect high risk. Um, okay. Well, let's put it this way: hotel workers are not high risk because of health. They're just high risk because they come in contact with a lot of people. So as far as I'm concerned, everybody's a high risk because I said Hawaii is a travel destination. Unless you run through the hills, unless you're in Kauai and you go hide out in Kalalau and not come in contact with no humans after that, for the most part, you will run across somebody. And it may not be from here. You will run across somebody. So as far as I'm concerned, everybody's a high risk because you hear it all the time. They're trying to get the vaccine into the arms. Okay. Look what they do now. Since J&J came on the scene, how much the president has secured. A pretty big sum, of vaccination. So if that's the case, hey, everybody stand in line. But again, some people are being respectful because they're saying, I'm sorry, I'm not in 1C, so I gotta wait. So today, one of the guys told me, I get hotel workers, security at the hotel, and they say, oh, sir, I understand some of the hotels now, their employees are getting vaccinated. Are we supposed to go in there too? I said, you're supposed to. I said, but nobody told us. You see what I mean? And like you said, maybe some people don't have one alert system telling them, hey, I said, you know what? Just go and put your name in no matter what. All they can do is tell you no, right? But keep on trying. Just keep on trying every single day until one day the system will go, I think, take your name and you stand right in line. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, and again, I think, when you look at prioritization, and right now the focus is on tourism, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. But yet, our poor restaurant workers that never stopped working and have been in contact with people. Yes, they practice safety measures, but nonetheless, you still come in contact. You're at a higher risk than someone that's not working, and they should be safe. So the prioritization, I mean, it's so clear. It's so clear the direction of the state. It is just so clear that the direction is uh, tourism. Today, the lieutenant governor was on again, and this kind of ties into a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Number one was obviously he's pressing the governor hard. I love it because he's pressing the governor hard about opening up Inner Island without any testing. Just open the doors. Because I guess he doesn't understand that, or maybe he believes that the virus only clings on to visitors from the mainland. Maybe that's what he thinks. Maybe his research has shown him that inner island residents cannot get sick. Maybe he didn't see the clusters. I don't know. It was interesting because right after that, when they asked the governor said that he and the health director both agree that until we get assurances and confirmation from the CDC, he's not changing anything. So the governor, lieutenant governor, is spinning his wheels, right? Telling everybody what I want to do now, because he knows the governor not going to approve him until CDC says it's safe. So interesting. Obviously, the lieutenant governor and the governor not on the same page, and the lieutenant governor is willing to go out there and make big body and again, make like he's the savior of tourism. While the governor got to sit back and say, hey, we got to practice safety. We're not giving up anything until we know about this post-vaccine efficiency. The other thing was very clear, and if you watch the Lieutenant Governor news today, he made it very clear, and I don't know if it was a slip or not, but he said that the airline industry is having a rough time because people are hesitant to travel with the test, with the 72-hour pre-test, and it's complicated or whatever. But I don't know if he intended to say that. He's doing this for the airline industry so they can increase passengers. Well, we all know who's leading the charge from the airline industry in the state of Hawaii, and that is Avi Manes from Hawaiian Airlines. We know that. We know that Avi Manes sits on the advisory council to the governor on his travel policies. We know that. It's no secret. But when he said what he said, and he said so specifically, he goes, the Safe Travels program right now for Inner Island people are creating a problem for the airline industry for Inner Island travel. Well, it's only Hawaiian and Southwest. So by doing this, it'll help incentivize more Inner Island travel for our airlines, and that's what he said. So now you understand the motive. The motive is not to see. He's saying it stimulate economy around the islands. Come on, man. We know the real reason. And maybe people didn't pick up on that. I did. And listen, Charlie, and I hate to bring this up because it's sad, but Kaneohe Bakery and Love's Bakery, both bakeries, they are closing on an island that has participated in safe travels. Right? They have Oahu has been in safe travels forever. Safe travels is not the problem. The problem is lack of visitors traveling, just overall.
Yeah.
Because, and that's what I was always concerned about Kauai, the false impression that when we go back into safe travels, boom, hotels going to open up again. People going back to work. Well, like I said, when I put up those numbers, the occupancy rates, and I know you got the people saying, well, man, it's not good numbers because you're not counting on hotels that are closed. Honolulu don't count the hotels that are closed either. My point is that if in fact safe travels, and I'm just comparing apples to apples, safe travels on Oahu, if in fact safe travels was the solution, we wouldn't have had people shutting down. We wouldn't have had 26% occupancy on Oahu. So to think that Kauai gonna be any different by entering back into safe travels, that's yet to be seen. That's yet
Here,
to be seen.
I want to read something. This is from someone's profile. They just sent me because they heard the dialogue about high risk. And this goes to show you some of the farce that's involved. Okay. I'm watching your show right now. I asked my doctor, how can I get vaccination? Because she's bona fide COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, right? She get hot time breathing. Doctor said you need to go on the website to register. Goes on the website because of her age, because right now they're taking a 70 and up, right? They never really get to the 65 and over, whatever.
Right.
This person is 66 years of age. High risk. Doctor telling them go register. So frustrating. She get the email back says you don't qualify because you're not in that group. So again, how do you get past this mumbo jumbo? See now,
Well,
maybe her case is isolated. Maybe her case is isolated. But I feel for that because they're waiting patiently. And that's why I said everybody's a high risk. It's not like we jumping for joy because we just like take the damn vaccine just for the hell of taking it. No, it's a precautionary measure because when it's all said and done, everybody gonna stay on this rock, right? Supposedly. And you want everybody to be safe. So whether you get vaccinated today or next week, the sooner the better. Get it out of the way. That's one person you don't have to worry about. You got the vaccine into their arm, and yet they cannot. And I'm sorry for going a little bit sideways on this tangent here. You know,
hang on.
yeah. Anyway, gang, thank you very much for sticking around and holding on to our conversation. We're just trying to make heads or tails out of everything. But again, the latest news is, we're opting back into the safe travels. And, I will say this openly. However you feel, I personally support our mayor because he was the only one that stood alone and he did a lot of good for us. And I personally am telling you, I'm just going to trust his judgment, how we would proceed from here. Because if things go sideways, it's not for me to bash anybody. It's for me to say, I can do something safe in my life. I can do what's safe for me and my wife, and that is we wear a mask, we avoid the large crowds, and if we got to go out and buy something, we do it at like I know if I want to go to a supermarket when it opens at 5 in the morning, hardly anybody around. And if I got to wake up that early, I'm gonna do that. Okay, because if it allows me to avoid the crowd, when you fill up gas, the station closes at 10, and you see that most times there's not a big line from 9:30 to 10. I'll go at 10 o'clock right before they close to put in gas. That's just me. And you can take those precautionary measures too.
No, I was just figuring out. You remember when COVID first started and there was a supposed shortage of testing, and it
Mm-hmm.
took an act of Congress to get a test. Remember?
Yep.
And I remember when I had gotten exposed to someone who had direct contact, and I was actually
You had
pretty
to go.
close.
You had to go through that whole rigmarole.
It was very simple, right? If
Yep.
I had gone through the line, they would have said, "Sorry, where's your doctor's paper?" So I called my doctor, and my doctor initially said, "Hey, you know what? If you weren't a direct contact, go quarantine until your partner gets his results." And I said, the exposure time had been almost about 5 days prior. She said, "Oh, I'll go write the script, go get your test." See, because it changed, right? The parameters changed because of the incubation period. My exposure had been a little longer, so I got the test. So right now, you the way it's set up is 75 and above. I don't care if you get underlying conditions or not, 75 and above. Well, now it's 70.
Hmm.
How hard would it have been, Charlie, to come up with the same silly parameters they had for testing? Remember when it first came out, you had to have all the symptoms. Basically, you had to have COVID before you got tested. So how about we do something like this so that you go to your doctor and you say, "Hey, I want to get a vaccine, but I'm 68, I'm 69, okay?" So you don't know the age, you don't get that point. You don't get that point. But you know what? You get the point for underlying conditions. You get the point because you work in a risky environment, maybe a restaurant or a grocery store. Oops, sorry.
Yep. Okay.
And maybe at home you live with people that work in the visitor industry. So you might not be 70, but you get 3 points. Now
Smart.
you might
Smart.
be 70, you might be 70 or 71, healthy as an ox, no underlying conditions. You don't have any risk at home and you don't work.
Hmm.
So you get 1 point.
Hmm.
So why are you getting a vaccine over someone that needs it more than you? That how hard, Charlie? I did this in 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
And that's why I said no. That's why I said I agree with you 1,000, 1,000,000% no. I agree with you. And that's why I said our system has created the backlog that people are going to wait. And that's why I said take them when you can, because it's gonna work its way out. It's gonna work itself out. I guarantee you. Because instead of having people here take this, then you go to the next level, take that, they go down to the next level. If you go in this way, it will balance out in the wash on the line.
Yeah.
And that's what some of the experts in the mainland are saying. And instead of following the regulation, they said, hey, over 75 and all that, they said, hey, why don't we just put them in the arms and get them? Because who did that first was Florida. And that's when they got all jammed up because why? It wasn't monitoring it well, and they were getting people from outside of the country coming into Florida
Oh yeah.
getting their vaccines. That's the reason why. That's why they got jammed. But the principle was if we do it at different levels and we just push them in, it will balance itself out down the road. And you achieve the goal is to vaccinate people. Okay.
Right.
So right now we're having all these qualifiers, and like you said, some qualifiers will disqualify you, yet only because of the age, but everything else qualifies you.
Right.
Or something qualifies you because of the age, but yet all of this other stuff you're not confronted with. So there's got to be a way of working
But
with it.
that's what I mean. I mean, like we did for testing, let your doctor be the judge.
Mhm.
Let your doctor be the judge. So if I'm 75, I automatically get a vaccine, automatically, even if I'm healthy. You get
Yes,
a 50, 60,
exactly.
70. God, I mean, look at today. You get people that have cancer or some other type of disease at a young age, and they cannot, and they gotta. I mean, come on, man. I don't get it, man. I just don't. And you're right, Charlie. The more you can put out there, the better. It's get it in the arms now or later. If you can get them in now, you don't have to get them in later. I agree.
You know what would be? You know, it'd be even. I just saw somebody make a excellent comment. Flu season. Nobody thinks about all the vaccines that come into the state and how they got to be stored, right? Nobody even talk about flu season. Why can't we get vaccines to doctors, right? Licensed physicians that they can administer to their patients.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be a great idea.
I
That
agree.
that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
And then, if you are going to have these kind of vaccine centers, you can set them up, but at least have a government observer there watching the procedure. That's all. So at the end of the day, they can write down, yes, they followed everything from A to Z. If there's a question, they ask. If there seems like there's been definite abuse of it, they can shut down that vaccine center and those people involved. Unless they change the process, can do that
Well,
too.
yeah.
Ye-
Well, gosh, feels like it's been a while since we've been on, Charlie. Since like Monday. Seems like we missed a day. Yeah,
It's
I did wanna make some commentary. I know because we had a lot of questions about what were our thoughts, and I'm with you, Charlie. And we didn't discuss this prior to today till now. The mayor has led us down the road in a way that some people agreed, some people disagreed, but no one can dispute the fact that Kauai has been the safest county. No one can dispute the fact that while there were consequences, his choices were led by science and by medicine, by Dr. Berman and her team, and well, the county's team. So while I am a little concerned that they'll remove the quarantine, it was inevitable, and this will be a good opportunity to get our people back to work again. I think that, and I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy, but the proof is there, and we've seen it on the islands that have participated in safe travels, that the increase in movement, I don't think is going to be that much, and it's going to take a while. The question is, can we keep the number? I'm talking about statewide, not just Kauai. Can we keep the numbers down long enough so the return to work can get secured, can get their roots, deep in the ground, so they don't have to shut down again? That is my biggest fear. We're seeing the clusters at UH. We're still waiting to see. Hopefully, they're not variants. Hopefully, it does not going to get to be a bigger. UH supposedly, from what I'm hearing, did a really good job in isolation. So I think they're going to get that cornered pretty quick. The bottom line is, it's going to take all of us now, as a team, as a family, as an Ohana, to support our friends and family that's going back to work by being safe, and making sure that our employees at the hotels and restaurants and everywhere else, the hospitality industry, gets their vaccines and also practices safety, because things can go bad quickly. So while I think I put my trust in the mayor and his team, I obviously going to support his decision. Cautiously optimistic that this thing will work out and get our guys back to work. At the same time, it won't work because tourism, the visitors that come in aren't going to be the ones that pull us out of the puka. It's going to be all of us, as we talk about every Friday, Charlie, supporting local. All of us now, as restaurants open, as hotels open, we as locals got to go patronize and spend our money there as well. Not don't think that tourists can pull us out of the slump, because we're not going to see that for a while. That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
Could be totally wrong, but I'm just looking at the trends from the other islands that have been in safe travels for months and months, and they didn't see the uptick like uh, I think some people are expecting.
Yeah.
And we just have to wait and see. Kauai is much more sought after destination than Honolulu. That's not no offense, Honolulu, but Kauai is much prettier and much more relaxed. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, first of all, I do want to address a couple of things. First of all, it's great to be back on here with you, my brother. It's getting used
Same
to
here.
it. We was off last night, but it's getting a little used to. But at least we can find subjects now that we allow to manifest itself, and we can talk about it, and hopefully get some input. We thank you to the viewers tonight. So a lot of input, questions, which is good. Hopefully, we are able to answer. Um, and again, you know, the same way, like if someone chooses not to wear a mask and someone chooses to wear a mask, we who want to stay safe, we have that choice. We have the choice. Okay. Nobody is holding a gun to our head. Okay. Nobody is holding a gun to our head to say, take off your mask. Nobody is holding a gun to our head to say, hey, put on your mask. You do what your conscience tells you is right. We can only hope and pray that if we had a group of 10, 9 of us had a mask, and one lone wolf decides to come in with no mask, that they catch the hint, hey, you better go get your mask, or it's going to be a very, very lonely night for you if you're going to stay with our group, right? That's just how it works. Well, sometimes on the feed, we we get someone, and I'm noticing, and I just caught a couple of comments, but sometimes on the feed, we see certain individuals who might go against the grain of what we're trying to talk about. And they have a right, like anybody else, to come on our show and express what they want. As long as the language is pleasant, we can agree to disagree. But the moment there's anybody that's going to start blasting somebody with negative words, then yeah, definitely we will get blocked. But for the most part, I just want to say we can agree to disagree. This is a very, very touchy subject, only because we've been in this mode for nearly a year. In fact, we went over a year by one day, a year and one day. Yesterday made a year since we had the first reported case in Hawaii. So 1 year and one day we've been at this. And I can see why tempers get a little bit short. But for us to sustain the long haul, we just gotta be ourselves and know how to protect ourselves. Okay. And what that means is, again, if somebody doesn't want to wear a mask where you're at, yeah, just put your mask on. But if somebody came right up to my face like this, knowingly that they were in striking range, you cannot blame me for cracking them if they came that close to me. Okay? Because I didn't go into their space. They came into mine. All I'm saying is we can take the precautions necessary to protect ourselves. Right now,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. You lied to me, man. These Snickers are hard as a rock.
No. You try bite into them now. That's only the
I,
outer kid. Try bite into them now. You're gonna see. I bet you. It's not hard. No make face like that. See?
you were right.
Baga good, eh?
Mm, don't tell Patsy.
Just tell her it's still frozen in your stomach.
Well, you know, it's really exciting. It's an exciting time. Charlie and I, we've been really focused on trying to keep everybody safe.
Yeah.
I know a lot rubs a lot of people the wrong way because it's like we're anti-travel, and we always said from the beginning, when we can open up safely, and keep, and we said this from the beginning, we can keep our employees at those hotels safe, then that time would come. The numbers are low right now. Very hard to justify anyone justifying to remain closed. But the component that needs to happen, and I think it is happening right now as we speak, in fact, I know, is the vaccines. Because then, as Tyson posted a little while ago, that when Safe Travels opened up, we didn't have the vaccine. So that's a different, that's something that we didn't have earlier. So we're going to see. Hopefully that makes a difference. But this could be, and again, I pray to God every night. I hope that this is the time. This is what will help us turn the corner.
You know what I hope, Mel?
Only time will tell.
I just hope and pray, Mel, that I know I'm being too generous when I say this. But I hope the traveler, whether it be local residents returning or mainland traveling, I hope honesty reigns. Because if we are going to open up with a so-called vaccine passport, I just hope we don't start seeing counterfeit CDC cards when they took the vaccine. And you know when one guy is on low, when he get one card and he took the vaccine and the name of the vaccine was a grape A vaccine, then you know that bugger is stupid. You know that knuckle brain should have at least watched the news so he know the right name to put down Pfizer, Moderna, right? Don't go put down a grade A vaccine.
I'm sure we're going to see a lot of these kooks coming true, trying to come true. I honestly don't think that will happen for a while, Charlie. I mean, just listening to the governor today, um, that won't happen. I don't care what the lieutenant governor says. That is not going to happen until CDC determines and the studies are complete that in fact this vaccine prevents you from catching or transmitting the disease. I have, you know, the governor has touched my nerves a few times during COVID, but in this one, you know, he's on track, in my opinion. I think he's on track and he's going to follow the science, which is what needs to be done. The lieutenant governor is, it's obvious what he's doing. I don't have to spell it out.
No,
But
I
it's the
think
whole
as a
over
doctor,
promise, over promise, under deliver.
you know, as a doctor, I think he's relying on his medical degree. But I can only say that, you know, that's the path he chooses. And, you know, some people have asked me, you know, what's wrong with the lieutenant governor? Nothing's wrong. But, you know, if he sounds like it's far-fetched, what he's saying, I truly believe he's artificial intelligence. I, I don't I don't think he's from this world.
It's you know, I think when you confuse politics into any whatever you do, um, that's when it's things start getting skewed. No, it does. It's when it gets skewed because the political the decisions have to be, because remember, I mean, it's no secret that he's running for governor. So he's trying to establish himself as the candidate that was fighting for the economy, for the people. And he's taking a risk. He's rolling the dice that because he knows he has no say. The governor already said. So for him, it's like, you know, when you challenge one guy to a fight, you know that guy not gonna fight back, Charlie. You remember, you know, had always had that jackass in school that like taunt you because he know you're not gonna hit him.
No, and this is what they do. You go up to him and he act up with you and he look in his face, hey, hold me back, hold me back.
Yeah, exactly. Because he know all he gotta do is make the people feel good because there's no one else agreeing with him. No one else is agreeing with him in science or health, medical. So, but it sounds good to the people that want to travel. It sounds good for those that work in the industry. It really sounds good, but it has no scientific medical basis. But it doesn't matter because his focus is not on being a doctor, it's being the next governor.
Yep,
And I mean no disrespect. I'm just being real. And if people cannot see that, then try take notice from tonight on.
yep.
It's all about it's like a campaign speech on every single one of them. And then when you listen to the governor or to Derek, you know, they're talking about the reality, the truth, about the fact that we're having problems with vaccines, that the storm is holding back vaccines. But then you listen to the lieutenant governor, we're getting shipments coming in, guys. We'll have the whole damn place vaccinated by spring or by summer or whenever he said. But that's because he's not accountable to what he says because he's not the governor. So anyway, just some ridiculous assumptions on my part. That's how I see it. That's how I see it because I don't know any other doctor that's agreeing with him. Zero. Zero. So
You, you know, that reminds me of, it reminds me of, you know, there's some individuals, there's some males who enjoy ballet. But you notice they cannot make the Russian ballet or whatever ballet. You know why? Because you know the part of the ballet when you do the pirouette and the girl run through and you got to hold her up one arm and you got to pirouette. Brother, not strong enough to hold up sister. We should have pirouette. He dropped her, both heads come, boom, pass out on the stage. Got to put the curtain down in the show, get refund. that's the kind of that's the kind of storybook line we're dealing with, my brother. And my wife always gets mad. She goes, you don't have to laugh at everything. I go, when I start laughing, that's when I'm upset the most.
Yeah.
Because what else can I do? I mean, I don't want to show frustration. I just find it utterly funny. And sometimes I hear certain things, and you're right, because you told me one time about something that was said. And so I had to go back and play just to see for myself if I was partially deaf or not. And when I heard what I heard, I laughed for about an hour. And Stephanie asked me, what's so funny? Mel was right. He did say that. And she said, so why are you laughing? I said, I rather laugh than get mad and start swearing. So I'm going to laugh. And I thought it was funny because, man, you got to get some big gonads for just come out and say what you say. You know what I mean? I mean, it takes a very special person to do
Our friend Mark Barbara, I think this is a great quote to wind down with, and appreciate that, Mark. He says, "Gotta have faith that people will do the right thing.
that.
The
Exactly.
pandemic has been used by politicians heavily. It's really made for getting away with their own agendas and has been used in that way a lot. Josh Green is accountable. He's going to pay the price if he's been wrong when and if he runs for governor." That's exactly what I was trying to say. Mark, you're hired, buddy. You're gonna be my speech writer if I ever run for president of the United States. Yo, look at how eloquent he said it. How nice.
How
I gotta
come,
go take classes. I gotta
how,
take classes
how
from that guy.
come you gave him credit when I say something eloquent, you start laughing and you start shaking your head like that with me. What is that? What is that?
Charlie, I always commend you on your
No, you shake your head and you go, you know, that's your famous line. You start going, you know, you know.
yeah, it's either this, or this. No, but what did I call it the other day? You're not
Thought,
engaging, captivating.
like, so,
You're
thought,
captivating, thought provoking, invoking, whatever. Yeah, no, man. That's it's always a pleasure reading your posts and listening. So appreciate
but
you, man.
today I was on a rant because I think by the time you woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, you must have seen you tagged about 6 or 7 different times. I bet you told Patsy, I don't think Charlie went sleep last night. Boy, look at all this post he wrote.
It's the first thing I do when I see the post. I look at how long ago, 3 hours, 2 hours. I'm thinking I thought Patsy, he's got no sleep. So I know that they were talking about checkers and pogo,
Yep.
but I think we can do a show,
Yeah.
and I'll just be the sidekick, but Captain Insomnia.
Okay.
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 Oh shucks. I worried because he finally had found out how to use the share screen function on this thing. So I know already he's doing something,
Yeah.
and I have a feeling it's something funny.
Yeah. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let me do this. Let me do that. And let me do this. Okay. You see that?
I see that.
You see all my favorite there you go. Everything. Checkers and pogo. Even the car, remember? Remember
I
the car, the
remember
radio?
he used to my uncle that just passed away used to live right next to Checkers, and that was the car that was parked in his driveway or in his garage.
Yeah,
Professor Fun, you remember Professor Fun?
yeah, radio. So, folks, that's what makes us do what we do. That's what makes Brother Mel and I do what we do.
Wow, that is, you know, I went on Checkers and Pogo show.
That was an honor. I mean, for you to get on, and you had to go get tickets to be selected to get into the. Was
Yeah,
that on?
we
What was that at the studio on Alamona Boulevard back
I
there?
honestly don't remember, but I know it was in a studio. I remember
Oh,
that
Kapiolani.
we was on our we were on I was with the Cub Scouts on Kauai, and we went on a field trip to Oahu, and they somehow was able to get our entire Cub Scouts pack on there. It was awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well,
So hang on, Charlie, hang on.
you got something up. You got something up your sleeve
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna just yeah, only because I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this, so I'm
Okay.
gonna play it because I just thought I'd. No wait. You remember that?
I remember it very, very well.
I forgot about that. I just happened to Google it and it stays still. Oops. Hang on. I gotta get rid of this thing here.
Yeah, he was my senior. He was in my senior English teacher.
Remember this?
Captain Honolulu. Captain Honolulu.
Captain Honolulu.
Yeah, I used to be able to do that, but you put on 40, 50 pounds like me, hard to get the hands all the way around you. Well, I'm stuck halfway through, so no can.
That was classic, man. I gotta tell you, we gotta have another.
Okay, try to do Captain Honolulu. I'm gonna show you one. How you do Captain Honolulu? Show me. Okay, what is this? That's Captain Kakako. That's what happens when you know can get your hands all the way through. You stop right at Kakako.
Oh, you crazy.
We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Yep.
Oh man.
Don't tell me you're looking for some more.
I'm just gonna do one more and then we're gonna call it a night because
Yeah.
we're overstaying our welcome. Here we go.
Oh, Kikaira.
大車輪投げスイッチオンワンツースリー電流火花が体を走るジローチェンジ機械だダークロボット迎え撃て人造人間機械がチェンジチェンジゴーゴーゴーゴーゴーゴーゴー
Now a lot of people don't know, but I was the original Kikaida.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that bit of trivia.
You know, that used to be on channel 13. You know, you couldn't get them on the antenna. We had antenna back in the day. We never have cable.
Yeah.
but my grandma had cable, and we would go to her house and try to convince her to let us watch that channel, but it conflicted with the Lennon sisters.
Lawrence Welk and the Lennon
Lawrence
sisters.
Lawrence Walk. Well, Lennon sisters had their own show at one point, but I mean, whenever she would go to the bathroom, we would change the channel real quick so we could watch a little bit of Kikaida. Now, I know there's a bunch of you that have no idea what the heck we talking about, but that was my dad and wrestling, man. Jeez.
Well, my thing was Lawrence. I goes, hello, my name is Lawrence. Welcome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Right now, there's the Lemon Sisters.
Oh my gosh. We gotta do a memory night, Charlie. We're gonna have to do a memory night and just have the discussion again, just talk story and share your favorite shows and my favorite shows, and all of those Japanese shows were awesome. Kikaida 01, Kamen Rider, Lightning Man, all of those.
Well, we back, we weren't that rich. I mean, we weren't there. We just like parents work hard, but the TV station depended on number one, if I had enough sleep, and number two, if I had enough will to hold my arms up, because I was the one holding the antenna and walking around the room until you got the best reception. I was that person. I was known as the antenna boy.
Yeah.
He said, Charlie boy, go to the corner of the room, right there. Okay, oh, stop right there. Okay, that's channel 13. If I go to the other side, that's channel 4. That kind of stuff. Yeah, I was known as antenna boy.
Antenna boy.
Yeah.
Every house had one, bro.
Yeah. That's
Every
why,
house had one.
when growing up, your father buy you shave ice, right? Buy you shave ice cream. And my father used to buy me foil paper. Because I was the one that always had to put the foil paper on the top and hold them and make them like a flag so I get the best reception and keep on practicing where would be the best. And they would tell you, hey, okay, now remember the position.
Yeah. The foil and the hanger.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ultra 7. I forgot about Ultra 7. Sorry. Ultra 7, he used to be able to go like this and wham, that blade would come out of his head and cut people in half. Let's do this. Let's go put aside a memory night, memory, whatever. And if you guys have any kind of clips, or send them to me or Charlie so we can put them up on the screen and we'll talk story. It would be fun, man.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, I think we're due for that. I think we're due for that.
Yeah, we gotta have humor. We gotta have humor in our lives, because I think we got whipped, tossed up, false crack medevac by COVID. Now we need a little time to have fun. What do you think?
Oh, Zaboga. I forgot about Zaboga too. Oh my gosh.
Who the hell is Zaboga?
You don't know Zaboga?
I think
Speed Racer. Oh my God.
I think Zaboga is like Gothenburg. You only find them on Kauai because Oahu no more. When I first moved to Kauai, I told my Honolulu family, hey, you guys let me send you, we get Gothenburg. They go, what is that? Because they don't have it in Honolulu.
Yeah, you cannot find them.
And the closest thing to that is getting one piece of summer sausage and soaking them in vinegar for about 2 weeks and then frying them. Yeah, that's the closest thing to Gothenburg. Twilight Zone, yep.
Here comes Speed Racer, he's a demon on wheels. He's a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone. He's gaining on you, so you better look alive. He's busy revving up the powerful Mach 5. And when the odds are against him and there's dangerous work to do, bet your life, Speed Racer, see it through. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. He's a and flying as he guns a car around the track. He's jamming down the pedal like he's never coming back. Adventures waiting just ahead.
Right now, eh?
Go speed
Those two
racer,
buckets, I think
go speed
they need
racer,
help.
go speed racer, go!
Oh
And
man, that I cannot tell a lie, man. That was one of my favorite
oh,
cartoons.
I guarantee you, the people thinking, we're gonna raise money for said Mel and Charlie to get counseling. I
Oh
bet they
man,
thinking,
that was
they thinking right now, honey, we wasted our entire Wednesday night for watch this. We
oh
sorry.
man.
That's why we brought him in at the end of the Mel and Charlie show. Oh, brother, when I see you looking down, I get worried because that means you say concocting another.
Just this is the last one because this is by request. Okay, this is by request.
Mm.
One banana, two banana, three banana, four bananas make a bunch and so do many more. Over hill and highway the banana buggies go, coming on to bring you the banana split show. Making up a mess of fun, making up a mess of fun. Lots of fun for everyone. Cha la 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 la, cha la 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 la, cha la 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 la, cha la 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 la. Four banana, three banana, two banana, one. All bananas playing in the bright warm sun. Glitter like a pancake, popping out your cork. Flingo, bingo, cougar and stork. Tra la la.
Okay, that's just a sample of what you guys will be seeing at our reminiscing show, Memory Lane. Dove sharks, jelly sandals. Oh my God, more, more, more. Oh, I'm excited, Charlie. I really want to do this, man. Really want to
Yeah,
do this.
that brings back my time that I spent growing up at the state hospital. Oh, they bring back so much memory. A graham cracker and orange juice for lunch. Oh,
Oh
those
man,
are the days.
yeah, man, just a lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff. I think that's good for the soul. We
Yeah,
just talk story. We did it before. We went to all the old restaurants and diners and bakeries and. Uh,
I did all the I did all the old scenes from Waikiki back in the day when the Hilton Dome was still up there and still had the dome in the front. Oh, Wailana Coffee Shop. Oh my goodness.
well,
Yep.
Friday we'll do Feel Good Friday, guys. We'll Captain Honolulu, Flojo's. Oh God, this is gonna be a fun show. So Friday we'll do Feel Good Friday. Next week we'll crack a night of reminiscing. Um,
Exactly. Good.
maybe Wednesday. How about Wednesday? Hump Day Wednesday.
Okay,
Because
so
I'm sure by Monday we'll have some stuff to talk about. So,
yeah.
but Friday, hey, make sure you guys tune in, people. If you know any small businesses that wanna get wanna come on and share, Calvin Tamagawa Fish Express. I'm calling you tomorrow. We're gonna get you on for Friday. Let us know, please. We wanna expose as many of our small businesses as possible. Let's do it. Anything else, Charlie, before we shove off?
No, just like to say again, thank you to all of you. Appreciate it very, very much. Just stay safe and whatever you do. Sometimes, we things cannot always go away, but we can keep ourselves and our loved ones safe. And that's more important than anything else in this world, I think, right now. Because there's always going to be a little disagreement, something going slightly to the left that we may not agree with. But no use losing sleep over it or getting all psychologically bust up over it. Just keep yourself safe. Okay.
all right, guys. Just wear your mask. If you come across people that don't have a mask, stay away. Keep disinfecting yourself. You know, and again, share with your family, your honor, your loved ones. Make sure they all doing the same thing. Remember, if you don't come in contact with the virus, you're not gonna get sick.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get sick. So if if you wanna, if you know you don't want to wear a mask, stay at home. If you're out and you see someone without a mask, keep your distance.
Yep.
That's all we can do, people. That's all we can do right now. And from here, we ride the wave. And let's think positive. Let's encourage again to everyone to support local, and we'll get through this, guys. It'll be fun. That concert, Charlie's concert, is coming. Is getting closer and closer and closer. Next show is on Friday. Feel Good Friday, guys. Hope you guys can join us. We appreciate you guys coming on tonight. You guys all take care. Stay safe. God bless. We love you guys. Aloha.